Okay, everyone, that should have fixed it, I think. Yay! Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Koala and Tanya and Lizzie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I was just saying hello to everybody. So, hi. I'm so glad you're all here. I have a topic that I wanted to talk to you all about today. And I think you guys know what it is just based on what the picture that you see. Um, the picture that you see in the live thumbnail. There we go. So, what I wanted to do today is talk a little bit about um, Lori Vallow. And I'm going to tell you about why I chose to talk about her and what's happened and how this whole thing started. But before I do, let me make sure I say hi to everyone. Hi, Lizzie and Koala, Tanya, Carol, Linda. Hi, Susan. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Peekaboo. Hi, Kate. Hi, everybody that's on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining. So, what I'm going to do just for fun, I'm going to have this video playing in the background. And so, this is a compilation I did of Lori Vallow. And if any of you have seen my most recent video, I talked about Lori. And I've told you all I'm not a therapist, right? I've just been around a lot of narcissists. I've been around them as a child, and I've married them. And yeah, so I've run through the whole gamut of what narcissists can be like. So, um, I was watching Dateline, and there were two things that were said in the Dateline on Friday that immediately reminded me of Megan. So I've told you all that I believe that Megan is a malignant narcissist, and I say this because she behaves so much like my malignant narcissist stepmom. Lori, however, is criminal, right? Like she is beyond um, what Megan has done. Okay, so the there's something called the cluster B personalities. And again, I'm not a therapist, but all of the things that we talk about psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists, they all fall under this cluster B personality types. So their behaviors could be the same. And someone actually on my most recent video said, "Why do they all behave the same?" Right? Why do they all behave the same way? And honestly, it's so good for us that they do because we can spot them. They all play the same game, you know what I mean? And we're so lucky that they do that. Um oh, thank you, Pamela. I love having these lives too, and I want to thank you, Tanya, for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate it so much, and I love you, and I love all of you. You guys are so great. I appreciate you all so much. Okay, so getting back to what happened on Friday. I watch Dateline every Friday. It's my favorite show ever. And my favorite journalist on Dateline is Keith Morrison. So Keith Morrison was the one that was that was the journalist for the episode on Friday. And he was interviewing Lori Vallow for her very first interview. So Lori has been convicted of, and again, I may be, well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so she's been convicted of unaliving her children, and she's going to be in prison. She got a life sentence for this. I went a little bit into the crime about what happened in the crime in my video that I posted yesterday, but to put it in a nutshell, she was married to a man named Charles Vallow, and L Lori, before marrying Charles, she had a daughter named Tylee. When she married Charles, they adopted his nephew, I think, or his niece's son, I think, whose name is JJ, and JJ, I believe, was autistic. So they were that nuclear family, Lori, Charles, and the 2 kids. So somehow, Lori, they were from a Mormon family, I believe, and somehow Lori got really interested in these doomsday prophecies. She started following this one author whose name is Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell was married to a woman named Tammy. And apparently, we find out that in their belief system, that they, and I think this is what was said. So, excuse me if I'm paraphrasing, but that if they got divorced, if Lori got divorced and if Chad got divorced, that they wouldn't be considered divine beings anymore. And the two of them together, when they met each other, really believed that they were divine beings. Um, really, really, if it had continued without any unaliving happening, it could have turned into a cult. Perhaps it already was one. I don't know. Um, yeah, totally, totally cray cray. Absolutely. Yep, she has no regret. Yeah, we want to run away from her. Yep, she had no emotion. And she actually would repeatedly talk about how her children are in heaven. She has no remorse. I mean, look at her face. Smiling, laughing, her behavior in court is unbelievable. Okay, getting back to what happened. So, Lori and Chad, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but both of their spouses end up being homicide victims. So you can imagine what happened there. And then the two of them got married. Chad and Lori got married. And, there were questions about where are the children. And eventually Lori got arrested first, and all of this evidence came out. They found the children, unfortunately, they had passed away. So Susan says all of her exes died mysteriously along with her hubby's wife. Exactly. Love you too, Coral Sand. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So where was I? Okay. So getting back to this interview on Dateline. During the interview, one of the first things Keith asks her is, you're married to Chad Daybell. Are you upset when people continue to call you Lori Vallow and not Lori Daybell? And she responded something along the lines of, no, it doesn't bother me, but I'm Lori Daybell. I'm married to Chad Daybell. And immediately it reminded me of the conversation Megan had in the in With Love Megan that we just saw, right? When she really quickly reminded Mindy Kaling that her last name is Sussex, right? Oh, I know, Pamela. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so sad. Her Dateline interview was disgraceful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, completely agree with you, the Queen's Guard. So that was the first parallel I drew. The second parallel I drew is that now Lori has a new trial coming up. The preliminary hearing, I think it's called, is on March 18th, so a week from today, and the trial starts on March 31st. And guess what? She is representing herself. She has no legal training, and she has chosen to not have a lawyer and do the job of the lawyer. And immediately, this again got me thinking of Megan, because how often does Megan take on roles that are not hers? Through the Looking Glass is asking, did this happen in Florida? Asking because of the rock front yard. I believe most of it happened in Idaho. Like, Chad lived in Idaho. I think Lori lived in Arizona, and then they moved to Idaho. And when they got married on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. So if anyone um, knows any different, please go ahead and drop that in the chat. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Liz is reminding everyone to please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Yeah, she thinks she is so smart. And who else thinks that they are so smart? Who else, right? So, this is why I started thinking about Megan. And what I wanted to do is list off a couple of characteristics that are that are that happen a lot with narcissists, and I'm wondering if you can give me examples that you might have seen seen this happen. Give me 1 second for me to get those questions ready to go. Okay, so first characteristic is oh my goodness. Okay, sorry guys, sorry. I thought I prepped it and now I don't have it prepped. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about how both of them, Lori and Megan, take on roles that they are completely unqualified for. And I'm wondering if you guys can add to this. Can you think of examples if you know the Lori Vallow case, other times that Lori may have done this? And if for Megan, if you can think of other times that she has taken on roles that she is literally not prepared for, educated for, or, ready or prepared to do, right? Susan says, just like Megan, Lori had her brother do all her dirty work. Never does the dirty work. Exactly. Yes. And mysteriously, okay, so this is part of the story that I didn't talk about. So Lori had a brother. His name, I believe, is Mike Cox. And actually, he is the gentleman here in this video being interviewed. So as you can see here, he's accused of unaliving Lori's husband. So he ends up he's really like her henchman, right? He did a lot of really weird things behind the scenes, and who knows what other things that haven't come to light that he did. He ends up passing away mysteriously, and people wonder, like, how did it happen? And it turned out that it was actually some sort of health crisis. Um, oh, are there questions? No, I don't have them on the screen. So I'm just gonna ask it, and you guys tell me about any similarities you can think of where either one of them have taken on roles that they are just not qualified for. Yes, they both want to control the narrative. Exactly, Sharon. Exactly. And I think this is why Lori, I bet, literally can't wait to represent herself during trial because I mean it's gonna be horrible. And I'm gonna try to see if I can somehow watch it or I don't know if it's televised. It would be really awesome if I could go live on my Revealing the Crime channel and talk about what's going on. Lizzie says when Markle didn't want to let go of the flowers and give them to the person in charge of assisting her late queen's funeral. Exactly. Motherhood, both of them, cults and cake. That's great. That's great. I love it. The other thing I noticed about Lori is she constantly talks about how she's divine. She's this divine being. She's had multiple lives. And I think she's unqualified to say all those things. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to another characteristic. What about control issues? Where do you see any, or can you think of any off the top of your head control issues that both of them have demonstrated to all of us? Yes, when Markle organized that magazine cover, yes, that was Vogue, the British Vogue magazine, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The Queen's Guard says, I believe it will be televised. They said in the motion hearing, you can stream it from Law and Crime YouTube, not Court TV. That's great. Okay, that's good. I'm going to see what I can do about that. I would love to be able to, I don't know, talk through it, or it would be awesome if I could do it live. Bad hair, Cults and Cake says, yeah. Uh, I see her grabbing the hand like MM. Yes. And Megan is hyper controlling of Harry. Yep. Physically steering him around. Absolutely. And like, just like Megan, Lori lights up when the camera's on her. Do you guys notice that? I put a video up a couple of days ago where I was able to put together when Megan winked and when Lori winked as soon as they spotted the camera. Like, they're just so similar, I feel. Tanya says, "Yep, she was definitely not, um, equipped to modernize the monarchy, and also she was trying to control it, right? And try to modernize the monarchy." Okay, what about grandiosity and self-importance? Can you think of examples where either one of them have demonstrated grandiosity or self-importance? I think, like, right off the bat, this whole thing of Lori thinking of herself as this divine being, she during her doomsday discussions, she believes she is part of this elite group of people that are called the last 144,000. She believes she was made or she was meant to lead this group. Um, During the interview, she talks about how um, eventually her and her husband, Chad Daybell, will be exonerated and that it was a vision that she had seen. So, really, Lori's grandiosity is so extreme, so extreme. Yes, Lori is a former beauty contestant, and if you watch Dateline, like when they showed that clip of her as the contestant, she has a very confident walk. Like, she has that down. I could see how it would be easy, I think, for her to attract male attention. Yes, they love the camera and they know where it is. Yep, complete evil, Lizzie. Carol says, I'm going to modernize the monarchy. Sharon says, both believe they are better than everyone else. Tanya, at the Queen's funeral and Remembrance Day service. Yep, trying to control everything. Susan, hugging herself like MM all the time. Yep. Zephyr, Megzi almost pushing Queen Elizabeth II out of the way to get in the car first. Yes. Yes. And the trips they took for Invictus, but it was all about her. Absolutely, Leanne. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much grandiosity that these two definitely demonstrate. What about manipulation tactics? Can you think of any manipulation tactics that these two or either one of them have done? And I can tell you again from watching Dateline, when you see Lori talking to Keith, she's always she never answers a question, but she comes back with, "Well, how do you know that, Keith? That's a rumor, Keith. How do you know that's what happened? I'm the only one that knows what happened." So she's manipulating the situation and just letting everybody know, "I know the real truth. I know what actually happened." And I think this is another example of rewriting history, just like Megan does all the time. Carol says, Harry, oh, Harry, they're against us. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely manipulative. Tanya says, when Huggy told Druggy the royal family was racist. Yes, absolutely. That was an isolation tactic. Like, she did that to create conflict between Harry and the rest of his family. Susan says she looks like a control freak. She knows better than everyone else. And this could apply to both of them, Susan. Like, that's how similar they are. Like, if we go back and we read these comments, anything that's not related to the queen, I mean, other than any comments that are about the children, I think apply to both of them, you know? Extremely controlling, extremely manipulative. And, rewriting history is another manipulation tactic, right? Like, yeah, they both flirt to manipulate. Yes, Pamela, yes. Susan is on the right, or not on the right, is on the same page as Pamela, weaponizing that. Absolutely. Dorothy says covert narcissism. Dorothy, would you mind expanding on that? Because I have known a covert narcissist, but I'm not sure that I see it in these two, because to me they're so obviously narcissists, right? I wouldn't even know how you would like spot a covert narcissist that's in Hollywood, because my experience with them is that they try to make you feel sorry for them, but in really, like, underhanded ways. So, yeah, let me know what you all think about that. Pamela, the whole "you and me against the world" thing is manipulative. Absolutely. Sonia, yes, they both took kids away from families. Yes, that's amazing. Paul says Megan has the press 24/7, that she can feed stories, and also has Instagram now. Yep, Megan needs to be in the news 24/7. Absolutely. And I totally see that with Lori Vallow too. She is loving this, right? She wants to be in front of the cameras. And in fact, during the interview, she mentioned something like, "Oh, Keith, if you wanted to ask me more questions, we can go longer, or we can do this another time." And Keith later on, like, he adds in this narration where he says she was only allowed one 90-minute interview. So I almost wonder if she was purposely trying to extend her story, extend her time, and hope that she would get another interview. Uh, Zaza says, "Thanks, I didn't know that, but being, yeah, for and acting like a pageant girl." Exactly. Why would her attorneys allow— Oh, Zaza, this is the thing, she doesn't have attorneys anymore. She's representing herself. She is. If my client acted like that, the only thing I would do is say my client is nuts and not culpable due to insanity. So, Zaza, with this case, it took them 10 months before she was competent to stand trial. So she actually, like, she did go through a round of that, and I don't know exactly what that entails, but that was something that was mentioned. Susan says covert narcs use silent treatment, are very charming, subtle, and play the victim. Yes. Yes, I this completely applies to the covert narcs that I've seen. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Okay, let's go to another one that I think is a parallel between Megan and Lori, and that's theatrical behavior. So I'm going to ask all of you, can you think of examples that either Lori or Megan have shown this theatrical type of um, behavior? And while you guys answer that, I'm going to have a sip of my water. So I will be right back. Okay, let's see. Sterling says similarity. Lori also invited George and Amal Clooney to her trial. Is that true, Sterling? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. Yes, Pamela, they both cut off people ruthlessly. Oh my gosh, Pamela, yes. Wow, you guys, let me know what you think about this chat. I'm really liking it because there's a lot of perspective that you all are adding to these two. This is so interesting. Carol says, "Can Megan develop into a Lori? Great question through the looking glass." I mean, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. And the this is what I was saying in the beginning of this live stream, that these types of people that are in the cluster B family, they behave so similarly to each other, but and look at how many we've encountered. Not many of them become violent, right? So just I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Tanya says, the theatrics would be at the LA Fire, the Grief Grifting Tour, and the Billie Eilish T-shirt video. Yes. Yes, yes. Rebecca, oh, hey there, while pretending to notice someone in a crowd. Yes, that video where she was giving um, Harry that dirty look and then spotted the camera. Oh my goodness. Oh, Zaza, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Megan accused royal family on Oprah, Carol says. Yep. They distance themselves from friends and family. Yep, exactly, Sharon. Pamela says, Megan tells something she thinks was a transgression against her and will then say, "Can you imagine?" as if it's the worst thing ever. Yes. So she tries to exaggerate this victimhood almost, right? Yeah. So I'm going to ask you all a couple of questions and let me know what you think. So, okay, so let's go with this one first. Which one do you think is more delusional? Lori thinking that she can act as a lawyer and win her trial, or Megan thinking she can run a business? Jen J says everything does is a performance. Exactly. I don't think she even knows what's real and what isn't anymore. Or she does and loves even negative attention. I think so too. I think she has a very hard time understanding what's actually happening around her. Um, and you guys, I'm gonna say something and I may get a lot of pushback on this. Um, but I really believe what I'm about to say. I don't believe it when people say, "Oh, this is my truth." There's only one truth. When people are saying, "This is my truth," that's just your perspective. That's just what you've experienced in life that are leading you to believe that way. And I think when we say, "This is my truth," it's almost like we're taking away from the fact that our experiences are shaping our perspective, right? Like I I've mentioned before, I'm not a therapist, right? And I'm not qualified at all to do that because I've experienced so many narcissists and I've been hurt by so many of them. I feel like I see it everywhere. So I'm definitely biased, and it's definitely that's my perspective, and I recognize that, and it's so important to recognize what your biases are. Yeah, Pamela, they are equally delusional, absolutely. I'm gonna play the video again. Disco says traits. They both employ manifesting instead of learning actual skills. Jody Arias did this also. Yeah, Jody's another one that gets grouped, right, um, with Lori and with Megan. We have also, why am I blank? Casey Anthony, Amber Heard. And Amber Heard, I don't know much about, but um, I think it's really interesting to study these people because you can see the similarity between all of them, even though all of them are different walks of life, different experiences, and yet the behaviors are consistent. Yeah, they're both equally Delulu, absolutely. Princess Goose says, "Has the judge said that Lori can be her own attorney? Many times the judge forces them to have an attorney." As far as I know, yes. And I was talking to someone, so of course this is hearsay, right? I haven't verified it, but apparently, Lori asked the judge if she's gonna be, wearing her handcuffs and the shackles around her ankles because she wants to be able to get up and walk around when she's talking to people. And the judge told her, "You are gonna be sitting in your seat the whole time." So I think it's already been approved that she would be her own attorney. Pamela says, "The consequences are coming for Lori more quickly than MM." Absolutely. Okay, Carol, exactly. I hate that saying about my truth. The truth is about facts. Exactly. Something is either true or it isn't. There's only one version of the truth. That's what makes it the truth. And at the same time, I really appreciate other people's perspectives, right? That's important too, understanding where people are coming from. Hi, baby grandma. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Zaza. Zaza says your perspective is excellent as usual. Oh my gosh, living with narcs makes you a PhD. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Jen J says Megan thinking she can run a business. Oh, that's more delusional than Lori. She doesn't want to do the work. Absolutely. Through the Looking Glass channel with Alice says Megan thinks she can be CEO of a business. It would require say, some attorney skills. Right now, I cannot see Megan at quite this level, and I don't know if I'm totally missing something and it's not good. I agree with you. And this is when I was watching the show and I heard about Lori representing herself, I immediately thought of Megan. She acts as her own lawyer with all these copyright and trademark issues. Like, if she really trusted and let a professional do it, I don't think she would have so many obstacles that she's been seeing, right? The Queen's Guard says, pretty darn bad when you're being compared. Yep, I'm not going to read that word. My truth can be gaslighting. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Disco says Jodi Arias, Lori Vallow, Megan, Casey Anthony all live in a world of their own, completely removed from the truth and reality. Please let me never visit this place they live. It's scary. I completely agree. Zaza says, my daughter is a narc, and so were both my parents, but I was so involved in trying to find love and acceptance, I didn't notice it until they destroyed my life. I'm so sorry for you, Zaza. Not I'm sorry for you, but I'm sorry that you've experienced this, and I'm I'm sending you lots of hugs and love. It's so amazing that we have this community here that we can talk about this, and so many of our stories are so similar, and all of them are so heartbreaking. Cults and Cake says Megan's less Delulu because you can technically say, yes, she is famous. Yes, she is royal ish. Yes, she got deals. Lori is straight up nuts. They are both stuck in the past and pushing for a fake future. Yep. Tanya says, um, I was with a violent narc for 4 years. Took me 5 years to get over it. Yes, Tanya, I'm sorry that you experienced that. And they leave long term, consequences. So even though 5 years have gone by to get over it, there's still, it shifts your perspective a lot, I think, and for a long time. Christine says, heard something, took me 10 times to break up with my narc ex-boyfriend. Yep, sorry, Christine, that you went through that. Hi, Teaspoon, welcome. Okay, so Susan says it's magical thinking and dissociative reality. And Jen says Lori thinks a miracle will save her. Yeah, she does. She really does. I mean, she was saying that she saw a vision where she was exonerated and her husband Chad was exonerated and they were walking around free. Yeah. All right, guys. So I kind of want to switch gears now and let's get into some funny stuff, right? Let's ask some hypothetical and funny questions. So let me get that going. Okay, so just as a reminder, I had some people asking. I do have a second channel. I haven't been able to post on it as much as I want to, but I'm going to try. So the video I made about Lori Vallow, I also cross-posted it on my other channel called Revealing the Crime. Feel free to go subscribe if that kind of content was interesting to you. I'm going to try to do a lot more videos there, and it would be really awesome since I already know that Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Since we already know that it could be televised, it would be awesome if I could somehow stream it if it's allowed. That would be so cool. But I think I need 1,000 subscribers in order to do a live. So I may not be able to do it there, but we'll see what happens. Lizzie says, consistent. Something Markle is not. When things don't go her way, instead of taking accountability, she wants to rebrand. She reminds me of that player when is about to lose and resets the button. Oh my gosh, didn't you hate that as a child? The kids that would do that. Oh, so awful. Okay, so first question. Okay, so if Megan was Lori's defense attorney, what are some funny expenses that she would add to the bill? What do you guys think? I wanted to make sure we end this on a funny note, and I all of these hypotheticals that I'm going to be show or I'm going to ask of you are going to have something to do with Megan being Lori's defense attorney, which, Megan is not um is delusional enough to do it, I think. Um Wardrobe expenses. Yep, Carol, absolutely. Jam, Lizzie says. Yep. Oh my gosh, she's gonna expense the jam. And then, that's a win-win for her because then she shows like, "Look how the sales are." Carol says, "Definitely hair and clothing." Absolutely, that's a good one. I didn't think of that, but yeah, absolutely. All of the beautifying treatments she needs. What about yoga? Do you think she would expense the yoga so that she would have her calm and be in her, um, best state for defending her? Sharon says her clothes, wine, and hotel. Absolutely. And if there's one thing we've learned about Megan from With Love Megan is she doesn't shy away from the wine, does she? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Paparazzi expenses. Thank you, Poncho. Disco says Megan's expenses: gold jewelry, wigs, alcohol, and long, long shoes. Aquazura shoes. I love it. And then she would walk away with them. I'm going to show this one, but I won't read it. Oh my gosh, you guys are great. I love these. So funny. Okay, I'm going to go to the next question, you guys. So, um, what are some funny ways you think that she would include her experience as a paralegal on Suits if she were um, to represent Lori during this trial that's coming? Like, I feel like maybe if she, when she met Lori, in this hypothetical situation, she would be like, I played one on TV, a paralegal, so I know how the system works. I'm experienced. I did it for over 8 seasons. Marilyn says she would expense expensive hotels with lots of security. She would expense mint leaves to elevate the defense. Absolutely. Yeah. She would be the executive producer. Yeah. She'd do the file room shuffle with the prosecution. She'd wear pencil skirts. Yep. I can stand in front of books. Yep. Yeah. She would leverage all of that, right? She'd lever so I haven't seen Suits, so I can't there isn't much I can add to the conversation. Um, Lizzie, she would bring a briefcase. Yes, she knows how to carry a briefcase. She did it on Suits. Oh, you know where else she did that? She also did that on, Deal or No Deal. So she'd be great at that. Lizzie, that's a very I love it. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Pancho says 6.5 years of legal expertise, domestic and abroad, to include California, UK, and the Commonwealth. Yeah. Oh, I mean, Canada. Canada. Yeah. The Bend and Snap Colton Cake says, yay, a reference to Legally Blonde. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay, so what are some funny legal phrases that Megan could say during the trial? So these can be like regular phrases or some that maybe Megan would make up. Automatically, I'm going to um, OJ and Johnny Cochran saying If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. I guess I dated myself. Yeah. Disco says Megan would spend approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds defending Lori per her line allowance per episode of Suits. She was a cameo, if that. Hilarious. Hilarious. Zephyr, she would say, I plead the fifth. I project, Your Honor. Colton Cake says, in a sultry voice, Megan would say, no objection, Judge. Pamela says, Pancho says, I thought OJ trial saying that too. I know, right? Disco says, this is a guttural defense, Your Honor. Winning is my jam. That's what she could say. Another one that just came to me is Jack Nicholson in that one movie. I can't remember what it was, but you can't handle the truth. Oh, maybe that's what Megan thinks about all of us. Maybe that's why she's constantly lying to us because she doesn't think we can handle the truth. Oh my goodness. I'm having a really good time, you guys. I hope you're all having fun too. Let me think. What other things could she say during the trial? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, Sharon. Oh, can I see you in your chambers, Judge? Uh-oh. Zephyr says, yes, A Few Good Men. Yes, that was the movie. Thank you, Zephyr. You can't handle the truth. TM says she would say, your rules don't apply to me. Jen J says, you can't handle my presence. Can't. Pamela says, here's a jar of jam and some lemons, Judgy baby. Cassie says, prove I'm not a mom. Prove it. Try it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll go to the next question. You guys feel free continuing to answer all of these questions. So even though I might like go ahead of all of you, I still want to hear what you guys think. Okay, next question. What would Megan wear when she visits Lori in prison? And we all we all have a pretty good idea of Megan's wardrobe. Um, but yeah, I want to hear, what do you guys think? What would Megan wear when she visits Lori in prison? You guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to go have another sip of water and I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Paul says a completely wrinkled beige outfit. Oh my gosh, completely. Marilyn says she'd wear a ball gown to prison, like the one she wore to the that Bob Marley movie premiere in Jamaica. She'd wear a beige suit. Carol says. Adam's aunt says the all red Joker suit. Oh my goodness, yikes. Ripped jeans and barefoot, Sharon. Yes, I love it. Oh, Poncho says the same. Ripped jeans and be barefoot, of course. That's the type of attire people wear to prison or to visit people in prison. Do you think she would wear a black and white sweater, like a striped sweater, just for fun? Oh my gosh. Pamela says, I don't know what she'd wear, but they'd have a total cat fight. Oh, you think so? What do you think would happen if the two of them were on a desert island? That was one of the questions I was gonna ask, but I didn't include it because I wanted to stick to my theme of Megan representing Lori in this upcoming trial. A tiara, Pamela, yes! I love it. Do you think she'd insist on the judge calling her Duchess? Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. She is too much, and she's predictable. Oh, yes, Colton Cake, that awful black and white striped dress, the one she wore on her birthday. Do you all remember which one that is? I can find it really quick. Let's see. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. and I will find it. Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is. Found it. Let's see if I can be quick with it. Image file. Oh, I don't think I can. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, but what I can do is I can share my screen really quick and share that window with you. Here it is, guys, the black and white dress. That is the perfect outfit for her to wear to prison to visit Lori. I love it. Hilarious. Oh my goodness. You guys are so hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? She would wear all of her jewelry. Oh, where? Why is my thing not showing? Am I still sharing? I don't think so. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Fixed it. It was glitching. Okay. Poncho says she'd wear high low. Yes. So it would be Valentino and Walmart jeans. Absolutely, because she's so high low. That's her total personality. She's not a diva. She's only 50% diva. Or maybe 40, maybe she's 43% diva just because that percentage is thrown around so often. And Paul says they would argue over who is more misunderstood. Yeah. Oh, the Panama hat. Yep. Zaza, she would wear a 9-month moon bump. Oh, Your Honor, please. I'm just an innocent pregnant lady. Carol says Link Lawrence said, put Megan and Blake on a stranded island and see who does who in. Absolutely. I love it. Oh my gosh. Colton Cake says it would be law firm of Sussex and Sussex. Oh my gosh. Jen J says she would probably make them bring Lori to her. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. The Hamburglar from McDonald's. I don't know if you all know the Hamburglar from McDonald's. Hilarious. She would start merching orange jumpsuits. Oh my gosh. Oh my, she absolutely would. I could totally see that. And actually that that other account that Everla, see, I always forget her, that company well, Megan's company name. As Ever. So that As Ever NYC company, they would make jumpsuits. And so she would basically be copying them if she did that, right? Okay, let's see. I think I have one. Is this my last question? Yeah, this is my last question. Okay, if Megan lost the case, which she probably would, who or what would she blame? Because it's never Megan's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. What do you guys think? Zaza says whatever she would wear, it would have a price tag hanging from it. Oh my gosh. So when Megan was in Morocco, she wore a red dress and people spotted the price tag out of the bottom of the dress. Oh my goodness. This is how, I mean, I don't know. I feel like she's surrounded by yes people or people that just don't care, because why wouldn't anyone cut that off her dress? I don't know. Zephyr says Megsy would cry racism when she lost the case. Pamela says Megan would sprinkle dried flowers over Lori like a fairy and announce you're free. I love it, Pamela. Baby Grandma says she would blame Harry. Twisted Metal says she would blame Catherine. Pamela, oh, these are all great answers, you guys. Pamela says she'd blame Lori for being guilty in the first place. Oh my gosh. The UK press, Adam's aunt. Yep, she would. Colton Cake says she would say that the jury is racist. Yes, 100%. I agree with all of these. Hi, Abertasso. Welcome. Yeah, you guys. So this is all I had for questions. Um, why don't we open the floor? What do you guys want to talk about? Leave any comments or chats or whatever, and Let's see where this conversation takes us. So, Abe Bertasso, this morning, or not this morning, right now, we've been talking about, I've been asking funny questions, funny hypothetical questions. If Megan was going to represent Lori Vallow in court, what would, what are some things that could happen? And the last question we had was, if Megan lost the case, who or what would she blame? She'd blame Netflix. Oh, Colton Cake says, I found out why she is obsessed with those flowers. She had them on shortbread at the palace. Oh my god, she doesn't have any, like, original thoughts, right? Like, I know that we've established that, but the more she does stuff, the more we see it. I mean, like, my first thought was, she's putting those flowers on everything because it was one of the first thing that was announced that she was selling. Yeah. Susan, I tend to agree with you that the hanging price tag was a passive aggressive move by her staff. I agree. There was something else. Oh my gosh, what was it? It had to do with her wedding. Um, Goodness, I can't remember what it was. Oh man, if you all remember, let me know. But there was something like passive aggressive that was done at the wedding. Perhaps it could have been that the car that she rode in um, to St. George's Chapel was the same exact car, like not the same model, not the same, like literally the same exact car that drove Wallace Simpson to her husband's um, funeral. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Yeah, please hit the like button, everybody, if you're enjoying this. I would appreciate it so much. You guys are great. I love you all. There's no better way than to spend a Tuesday afternoon for me, in my opinion, than chatting with all of you. Pancho says, ew, Megan is so deranged. Yeah, she is. Absolutely. Through the Looking Glass says, if Queen Elizabeth had known Megan was so talented, she would have had her work in the kitchen. I know, right? Oh my gosh. And then remember one time, I don't remember what interview it was, but Megan said something like, and, we cooked for ourselves. Like, what do you think, girl? Oh my gosh. She, like, that already shows how grandiose she is, right? That she was part of the royal family. So she expected all of her food to be made by other people. Oh my gosh. Disco is asking, when is the Sussex brand dishwashing soap being released? Oh my gosh, Disco, that's great. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, uh, inspired by Disco's question, what would the dishwashing soap be called? And also, if you want to, you can also say what it smells like. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Melina says Wallace Simpson is an angel compared to Meg. I really don't know a lot about Wallace Simpson. Um, but yeah, yeah. Melissa says sprinkles dried flour on everything. Look at me. I'm a genius. Colton Cake says the queen snubbed her by her brooch choice. She wore the lover's knot brooch to William's wedding and Anne's, but she wore the Richmond brooch to Harry's wedding. Means family responsibility. That's interesting, Colton Cake. I had no idea about that. Zaza says, if Megsy was my friend, I would feed her stupid info. Like the latest thing is sacred dirt mixed with glitter. And she'd merch it for $99.99 a box. Oh my gosh. Sharon says it would smell, so the dish soap, the Sussex brand dish soap, would smell like flour sprinkles. Oh my gosh, baby grandma. Instead of ivory, she'd call it beige. Oh goodness, you guys. Oh my gosh. So hilarious. That is perfect, baby grandma. Oh gosh. What could it smell like? What was that thing that she added to the salt? The Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. But there was something she added to the bath salts or whatever she was making for Daniel. It started with an A, I think. I don't know what it smells like, but I wonder if she would use that. Cassie says the dish soap would smell like cigarettes and failure. Pamela says the soap would be called Megan's Miracle and would smell like failure. I love it. Oh, Jen J. Jen J says it would smell like Diana's perfume. Her soap would smell like lemon through the looking glass says, I love it. Melissa says the tagline for the soap would be wash away misogyny. I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a bottle of soap that is telling my truth. Thank you, Linda. Yes, areca oil. Does it smell like anything? Does anybody know? I've never even heard of this oil. Um, but apparently I think this was the oil that she added too much of it. Like it would have been bad for the skin, but also I have to tell you guys, I was markled out last week. Like I saw a little bit of With Love Megan. I got to episode 5 and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't. So oh, Poncho says it would smell like mint and the logo would be her face. Oh my gosh. Hilarious. Twisted Metal says, I swear, if she starts marketing dish soap on her site, wouldn't that be hilarious though? Oh my gosh, baby grandma, seriously. Seriously. Or actually baby grandma gave it the name. Who was the person that suggested it? Sorry if I forgot who suggested the dish soap, but awesome. Okay, good to know. Princess Goose says arnica is great for inflammation. Yeah. Zaza says the dish soap would smell like toe jam. Uh-oh. Twisted Metal is asking or saying, I wonder what Gloria Steinman thinks of her now. I mean, wasn't it just, I don't know, 2 months ago that that Architectural Digest, article came out and people zoomed in and there was a picture of, um, the family allegedly in the background? Yeah, I don't know. I really hope these people all start wising up to Megan. Yeah, and I feel like she she's on a downward spiral and her behavior I think is getting worse and worse. Susan says it can burn the skin. Yeah, that I think that's what I heard too. Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm going to end the chat here. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I love spending time with all of you. This was such great fun. I hope you all enjoyed it too. Yeah, I hope you all have a good evening, a good afternoon, a good morning, no matter where you are in the world. I hope it's just a great day ahead for all of you. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye everybody.